Hi, my name's Erik Barnum. I'm the sales floor manager here at the Northshire Bookstore, and I'd like to talk to you about one of my favorite authors, if not my favorite author. He hasn't published in a long time, but the books he has out there are well worth it. Many years ago, I was given a copy of this book, The River Wye. It was given to me because I'm a fly fisherman. There's a great deal about fishing in this. It's both a humorous book and an incredibly deep philosophical book, if the two can coexist between two covers. The River Wye tells the tale of Gus Orviston, who is the son of a English fly fisherman and an Alabama bait fisherman. As you can guess, that leads to quite a few family fights over the virtues of fishing. Gus is the perfect amalgamation of the two. His father's name, by the way, is Howard Hale Orviston, and they nickname him H2O. The family is outrageous. The situations are outrageous. It is very, very funny. Eventually, Gus goes on a voyage of discovery, and it becomes a coming-of-age novel in a way. Wonderful concepts, beautifully written. Just a terrific book, and not just a cult book for fishermen. I loved the book, absolutely loved the book. When his next book came out, however, which is The Brothers K, I didn't read it at first because I had heard that one of the main characters is a baseball player, and I'm not that into baseball, so I kind of passed on it. But then years later, he came out with a book of short stories called River Thief, which is this book. I read this book, I absolutely loved it, and I thought, you know, I should go back and delve into The Brothers K, which I did. I now own a signed first edition of The Brothers K, which I ran out and bought a couple of days after I finished the book. My wife and I called this the Vulture book because I read at night and my wife would wait for my eyes to close and then snatch the book out of my hands. It is comedic, yes. As a matter of fact, the characters in this book are so outrageous that at first you feel like you can't really relate to them. By the last page, however, you are right there with them, and my wife, as a matter of fact, was sobbing through the last few chapters. The Brothers K takes place in the 60s. It involves a family called the Chance family. Each chapter is told by one of the family or one of the characters in the book. Each one has a very distinct personality and a very distinct idiosyncrasy. The characters are portrayed so outrageously that it is difficult to relate to them at first. I suggest that you stick with the book as I did, and find that eventually you do indeed not only relate to the characters but almost live through them. The way Duncan writes, it's almost as if he has injected DNA into his characters that the reader can recognize. And then just a few years ago he came out with a non-fiction book called God Laughs and Plays. The subtitle to this book is Churchless Sermons in Response to the Preachments of the Fundamentalist Right. It makes it sound a bit like a political book. It's not. It really is just a collection of essays by James Duncan about spirituality, about his coming of age and spiritual matters. The customers that I've given this book to have all raved about it as a good overall spiritual book for those of us who are not fundamentalists. Just a wonderful, wonderful writer. Really knows how to put his words together to either make you laugh or sucker punch you. It's an interesting, he is a fearless writer, and I truly enjoy fearless writers. That's what attracts me to James Duncan. This is Erik Barnum. Thank you for letting me expound on my favorite author, and please stop into the Northshire Bookstore and let me do it in person.